Looks like a portal to me. The tail is in the shape of an S. So clearly it's a snake. Oh, come on. Really? Really? Why am I not surprised? We'll just turn you off. There we go. Yeah, it's a snake. I believe like a hawk probably got it. That's definitely not a cat. Because it's like broken in half, essentially. Probably a hawk had it and then dropped it while it was flying over. And for whatever reason, decided not to come back and get it. Probably was like, nah, I want to eat that anyway. Upsets my stomach. Yeah, we're just outside, walking around, looking at the full moon. And we stumbled upon that. Which is obviously like a sign or an omen. It's going to be transformation, obviously. Man, that's a lot of transformation going on. Damn. Transformation. I saw a cicada earlier today, but I mean, it was like an adult one that was live. I mean, like, it was dead, but like, it hadn't like shed its shell or anything like that. Took a picture of that one. I was like, oh, cicada transformation. Cicada is like once in a lifetime transformation. It's not just like, it's not like butterfly transformation where it's like seasonal. It's like cicada is like once in a lifetime major transformation. And then what else have we seen in the past couple of weeks alone? Well, I'll start in the beginning. This was about a month and a half ago. I saw armadillo. And I didn't know we had armadillos in South Carolina, but we do. One little species of them. They're kind of cute. They're not as ugly as like the ones out in Texas and shit. But saw him on the side of the road. He was right next to the area where I go to like meditate or say meditate, just or like get my thoughts together, change my energy, get like not so much like downloads, but like by getting like out of my house and up near there, I don't know, it's easier to tune into like the universe, I guess. I call it the Oak Grove, but it's what it is to me. A bunch of oak trees in that area, and like there's one massive oak tree, like the granddaddy of oak trees, and it's a very magical tree. Its name is Jeffrey. So I like to go hang out with Jeffrey, and then the other oak trees are in the air around it. Like they kind of form like a collective consciousness of their own. Makes the place, like when you tap into it and wake them up, it like makes the place, I don't know, like gives it like a magical feeling to it, or magical properties, and not just the feeling. And then there's like, it's a place where I go talk to the Divine Mother, and there's like a little way to like tap into like her wisdom. It's right up the street, and so like right outside of that area was where I found. Driving by and saw 2 vultures eating something. I was like, wonder what that is. And then when I go on my walks in the morning, or sometimes in the afternoon, but usually in the morning or late at night, and maybe I'll go up there tonight. When I walked by it, I saw there was an armadillo. I was like, oh my god. But the 2 vultures were like across from each other, like sitting there looking at each other. And it was like, it looked like a coat of arms almost. But I always take note of what the vultures are eating. It's usually like a sign for me. Being an armadillo, I looked it up and it was basically like telling me to set boundaries and to protect myself. That explains some of my behavior, and as far as like communication goes. Anyway, somewhat worked, but so that was boundaries. Then it was let's see, what was the most significant one after that? After that, it would have been the great woolly moth, which was like a caterpillar, like that long. I mean, like longer than longer than my finger. And it was same thickness too, and it was all black and furry. Freaked me out. Almost looked like a mustache, like crawling across the floor. That's how woolly it is. But I found it right beside, within like 15 feet of where that snake is. It was at night, and luckily I had the flashlight because I was picking up pine cones. I saw that thing. I was like, "Oh my god, what the hell is that?" It was just trucking along, and I just took a picture of it and then got it analyzed, and it was like, "That's a great woolly moth." Now it's all black, but whenever it makes its cocoon, and those particular species, like, they take like extra long than regular butterflies and moths. They take like a year and a half or like 2 seasons or whatever to like fully transform. If that's significant, I guess. But when I found it, I was it symbolized obviously like transformation, but being black like that, it kind of symbolized like the primordial. For me, if it had made its cocoon, and then they would turn to mush, like liquid, before they turn into like whatever they butterflies or moths. So I was like, this is definitely represents like the primordial stage of transformation, like the before the final process, the final completion. That's like where I just came out of. That's where I was at when I found it, was that primordial liquid stage, like simmering in the abyss, like primordial stew, right? Which like out of the primordial stew, like it pretty much makes like whatever it can. So like that's where I was at. Liquid goo inside the cocoon. I'm out of that now. I'm at the infant stage. Then after that, let's see what we found. Found a owl showed me something, and then the next day later I found a feather on my morning walk. Owl feather in particular. Said the cicada. Saw a cicada like prior to that. And I seeing one today, I guess it was telling me like transformation was complete. That's probably what it was. Or somewhat complete. Then, oh yeah, another transformation was the black widow I found. That was about a week or so ago. And it was right here on my back porch. I've lived here for 10 years. I've never once found a black widow anywhere, inside or out. I've seen lots of like that spider over there. I'll show you. Lots of those. I guess it was about a month or two ago we found like almost, I think it was either 9 or 10 of them, like just in like the backyard. Like that was one of them, and then there was like 6 or 7 like in a group over like by the drain in the swamp, and like another one at the trash can. It's like, damn, that's a lot of them. The reason there's so many of them concentrated like that is because like I'm predicting that one will do, and I'm leaving the light on specifically for that reason. But it'll mate and probably lay an egg sac And what I'll do is I'll take that egg sac, throw it in the backwoods, just like let them live. It's a sin in Islam to kill a spider. Found that out recently when I was looking up Black Widow. But yeah, most likely she'll die by about fall. Before October, she'll be dead. Most likely we'll have laid an egg sac. I'll leave the light on to attract a mate because they that particular species is like, they'll think that the light is the moon and they'll like go towards it to build their web. So if it's dark out and there's no moon, I'll leave the light on. Attract a mate for her. I got a funny story about that spider and reed. I had one of those at my parents' house. This is probably about 5 years ago, maybe. And we had one of those outside. Might have been 6 years ago. Reed was definitely like, he might have still been in elementary school. So anyway, had one of those at my parents' house, a big one like that. And we used to go like look at it. It was on the deck. And then it laid its egg sac and then it died. And like when it died, like he saw it and like it broke his heart. Like he started crying and stuff. And like my mom calls me and she's like, "We got an emergency. You need to come over here. Like there's a problem with Reed." I'm like freaking out. And she tells me about it and I'm like, "What? Like that's the emergency?" She's like, "Yeah, I figured, it being a spider thing, you could handle it." I was like, "All right." So I took Reed out there and I was like, "Yeah, she died. That's what they do." I was like, "But you see this right here? This is her egg sac." And I explained to him like what I call spider time. I was like, you got to realize that spider wasn't like, it'd been here for a year, but it wasn't a year old. Like that thing was probably like 86, 90 years old, because like spider time is way different than us. Like a day for us is like a year for them. I mean, like they have a totally different perception of time. So like she lived to be like really old. And he was like, "Oh really?" I was like, "Yeah, dude, like that's why she had this egg sac." And like this egg sac, there's probably like 1,000, there's potentially like 1,000 different little babies in here. And what she does is like she makes a genetic copy of herself and puts it in there. So like she's gone, but there's 1,000 of her right here. Like I totally like cheered him up and like made him like so much happier. It's like, yeah, man, like each day for a spider to us is like a year for a spider, man. They have total different perceptions of time, and she lived a long life. She was pretty big. But either way, and then I took that egg sac and was like, "We're gonna take this egg sac and take it down in the woods. That way it's like it makes it through winter time." So that's what I did. Made him feel better, but I always take the egg sacs of that particular species and put them in the woods. The only other species I've seen around here is like your basic, we got the hunting spiders or jumping spiders. Those are super cute, like really teeny, very cute. And then I think we got some brown recluses, or had one by the water heater, because I think I got bit by one. I don't know if it was a brown recluse or something different. It's like also the common gray house spider, which is the kind that builds like its webs like under your house and shit. And then occasionally we get the nasty one. Like I got a picture of it. It's an orb weaver, makes a beautiful, beautiful web, and like they look really ferocious. Like ferocious is how they look. They get to be about the size of a quarter. Typical hourglass body shape, and they're the ones that always build a web like on your front porch, or like they like to build theirs up high. Like they'll build them in trees sometimes. When I lived in Hidden Valley, like they used to build theirs way high up in the trees, but like it's a web, so like they would, like you'd look up and like in the right light, you'd see like giant spider web like way up in the air, strung between two trees. So you'd see them like that sometimes. But classic front porch in backwoods or in the country or like at the lake, front porch, spider. And then like usually they build them and then like they'll take them down like the next day and then like rebuild them each night. I got a good picture of one. Might be on this phone. Anyway, black widow, never, 10 years, lived here, never found one, never seen one. It's on the front porch, built its web on the inside and the outside of one of my shoes. Needless to say, I went to like get her. I was gonna kill her, and then yeah, because I grabbed the can. I tried to find something flammable like hairspray, but not all the sprays I had weren't flammable. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just get the bug spray because like I ain't playing with that shit. And then I went to hit her, and then like she crawled up in the shoe. I was like, fuck it, her in the shoes, they're going in a garbage bag. I'm gonna tie the bag up and throw her away. Like I'm not gonna kill her, but I'm not gonna tolerate having her around either. And then like I looked her up, and it was obviously like transformation, but it also represented like the presence of the divine feminine. I was like, okay, see this. And then it was like, be careful of manipulation by women, basically. Like, be careful of manipulation. It's like, all right, I'll be on the eye, look out for that. Been looking out for that ever since about a year and a half ago when I fell into its trap. Then it was also like, for me, it was the telling me that like I had made it to stage 8, level 8, which is where we're at today, because it's 8-8 Lionsgate portal, and we're gonna go through that portal and beat level 8, which I think we already did, and hit level 9. So what else did she represent? There were some other things, but the main thing for me, it was the transformation, the presence of the divine feminine, and then the hourglass on her. That's what really stood out, was the hourglass. And I was like, oh, like if that's the divine feminine and that's the hourglass, that means divine timing is upon it. Like it's here, the window is open. So I was like, cool, like that definitely is what that means. So I guess that would have been like the ending of the transformation. So like we got the black widow, great woolly moth. When that comes out of its cocoon, it's black and white. It's like really cool. It goes from being all black to like all white with like black spots on it. I think I posted a picture of that. Big old thing. Cicada, armadillo, owl. Snake, obviously, today, which is another transformation. Keepers of like hidden knowledge and wisdom, your basics, rebirth and shedding of the skin. But I looked up specifically like a dead snake, and it said end of a cycle, completion of like a major obstacle that was in your way, like so basically along healing, closure. But the one that really stuck out was like, even though I already knew this, it's just another confirmation. Cycle's over, new beginning. Yeah, that's about right. So that's I think that's all the animal spirits that we've seen in like the past month and a half, 2 months. I mean, the only reason I say that long is because of armadillo, but in the past 2 weeks though, it's been owl, black widow. I guess it was maybe 3 weeks ago that it was the big woolly moth, but in the past week was black widow, snake, cicada. Yeah. So that's the spirit's really coming out to talk, I guess. And then all of them but one is like transformation. So yeah, definitely going through all that. And like I said, I'm I'm at the infant stage. Apparently I just came out of the abyss, the primordial stew, and like now I'm in my infant stages, and like in order to get through like infant to like toddler to adolescence to teenager, like that's gonna be like what's to come. And then like I will be shaped by like my environment. Basically I'll have to just adapt. So the other thing that snakes are is they represent adaptability, highly adaptable creatures. Then it happens to be the year of the snake as well. On the Lionsgate portal. Awesome. And you saw it was like in the shape of an S. Like I didn't do that. I was like, wow, that's cool. It really wants me to like take note. I guess I'm gonna go bury him or put him in the woods so the other creatures can eat him. Year of the snake. Yep. Should be it's already been an uneventful yet interesting year. Oh, they also represent like spiritual awakenings. All that like resonated. I gotta double check what color it is and look that up. But so Chinese astrology said that the lucky numbers for snake were 8 and 9. I was like, cool, 8, right? 8's right there, and then tomorrow's the 9th, and it's a 9 year, so like it had 3 lucky numbers: 2, 8, and 9. I was like, interesting. I was just thinking about that too the other day when I was talking about all the energies associated with today, which technically today is like in between days. So we're on a threshold right now, which is where I'm always at. Threshold, because it's like Friday night, but it's Saturday morning. The moon, technically you could perceive it as Friday night, which is the 8th. And like that night, it's a full moon, even though the full moon doesn't kick in till Saturday at 3 in the morning. But if you stay up late on Friday night, then 3 in the morning is still Friday night. It's still nighttime. Unless you go to bed, it's still nighttime. And then when you wake up, it's morning, or the sun rises. So we're on a threshold. So like technically you can say Friday night, the 8th, is the full moon. And not only that, it's the ending of Lusnahad, which is the Celtic festival of lights, but it's a harvest festival. The first fruits of the harvest, like the very first pickings, is what you would get this week. Starts on the 1st, ends on the 8th. Which is significant because Jerry Garcia, who's part Irish, born on the 1st, died on the 8th. So, like, which is the same day, be Friday. But in the Bible, I believe it says that like Jesus died on like the last day and then resurrected on the first day, something like that, which was Sunday, because like Sunday was like the first day of the week, and then it became the last day of the week, something like that. I know it's a reference to Sunday. So then what other energies are going on? This portal day. 2 8s is significant, like big time significant. The double 8s. It's the day that Kirk Myers died as well. And let's see, I think that was it. I was like, yeah, all of that on one day, that's definitely a nexus of energies, and it's going to be a strong portal day. So, and then we just came out of like several days of darkness, because like the storms and the cloudiness, right? The moon wasn't out at all. Hadn't seen the moon in a while. So like we just came out of a period of darkness, so that would represent that abyss energy or primordial stew. The other morning, it was I was up right before the sun came up. I was like, I'm going to take my walk and eat breakfast. The sun hadn't quite come up yet, and it was still cloudy from the rain, but like the way that the street lights and the city lights were lighting up the sky, it looked very gothic. Definitely had that Stranger Things look to it, and I was like, I think we're already in that portal of energy. I think we're like in that in-between state, coming out of the underworld, and like that was very significant. So that's what we got going on. Just wanted to film that moon. We'll go check out the moon one more time and call it quits. Just wanted to catch that and share the snake and share all the meanings behind it. And then it kind of goes, oh, that reminds me of something. Oh, yeah, I know what I got to do. I got one particular post in particular I got to post. A light one might be pretty cool. It's hidden. Yeah, cloudy now. That's kind of cool. Let's see if you can. Yeah, it's playing hide and seek. Yeah, I'm glad we got a picture of it before. But like, you can see like, it's kind of like storm clouds. I mean, cloudy. It's cool because it keeps it cold. In fact, the other day, when I took that walk, and when it was all gothic and stuff like that, that was the coldest night, coldest morning, and the night before. I mean, it was cold outside. Like, there was a breeze, it was chilly, and it was cold. I was like, my God. I was like, it's summertime, it's August, and it's cold outside. This is usually like one of the hottest parts of the year. I was like, the fact that it's cold and like kind of rainy, like that's a sign that we're definitely like on the threshold or in a portal. Because like, it shouldn't be that way. It should be the opposite. It's like being 100 degrees in October. I was like, yeah, we're definitely like entering that portal. It must have been like one of the days that it opened as far as energy goes. But like, it's almost like we're battling like storm clouds or something just to get to see the moon. It's like a shadow in the sky, or like a storm shadow, and then like a snake. So they storm shadow and snake. I know what I got to do as far as that goes, but like that brings up the astrology of the time, which is the reason I'm posting it. It's got double meaning. Oh, the reason we were posted like several songs about the sunshine and the light was because I was like, it's dark, it's cold, like it needs to like be sunny for Lionsgate portal. We need clear skies so we can see the moon, get that light. So I called and summoned up the sun by like posting songs about the sun and about the light. I guess I should have posted more. Could have gotten like maybe like some longer clear skies. But astrologically speaking, with like what Mars is doing in Libra, I think it's Mars and Libra. Libra signifying justice. Mars would be like Aries energy, god of war. So like the guy I watched was like described it as he was like, only way I can really describe this is like Batman. And I was like, what? He's like Batman, because he's like he's out for justice, but he's doing it like behind the scenes, like hidden, but like It's not really like vigilante style justice, but you know, it's not justice that's like out in the open for everyone to see. It's like behind the scenes. It's like done in the dark. And so like it's kind of what's going on right now. It's like fight the good fight type energy. Like grab your sword, stand up for what's right, demand justice. So like it's kind of what we're doing. That's the symbolism behind the Storm Shadow Snake Eyes that I'll be posting, as well as just a badass freaking clip. And it's not for kids. It's not for kids. This is it's animated, but it's for adults. And yeah, it gets pretty sick nasty with the blood. Storm Shadow, yep, he gets his ass checked. So, and then the other thing about that clip is that the number 7 is important to that, because like Snake Eyes uses like the 7-step technique to like defeat his enemy. 7 steps. And then I got to post a couple of clips from the 100. I'm still trying to find a good one for the Blood Queen. I just can't find a good one. And then there's 2 or 3 other commanders that like are badass warriors. I guess I need to just post the one that's on the Conclave. I'll post the Conclave and then the other warriors, but like all of that represents like me like summoning my warriors to like go into battle, as well as there's some like really deep meaning. If you know the series and everything and the characters, there's deep meaning in there. Like with the Red Queen, it's like she's ruthless, like, but she had to become that way in order for like them to survive. And then she just wants to go back to being like her regular self. But then with the other commanders, they have the Flame, and someone I know has something similar to the Flame. And then the one person in there who had the last person to have the Flame, the last commander to have the Flame, had to deal with, like, you could say like her shadow self, but it was really another commander's consciousness that was like trapped in the Flame, and it like made her do like bad things. It wanted her to be like really bad. I mean, it's all to benefit, you know, being a commander, and to benefit the people, but it used an evil way of like getting things done versus like the light. And so the person who's got the Flame at the time has to battle like that demon in their head that's like tells them to like be bad, even though it's like accomplishing somewhat the goals, which is survival. It's a really great show. If you haven't seen it, I want to say for some reason you have maybe seen it, whether it was like because you got into it or someone recommended it, because like they probably knew that I liked it a lot. It's an awesome show, really good. I mean, it opened up my eyes as far as like human civilization, as well as some of the potential downfalls of AI. Like, you don't want to like give it all control. You know, ask it for its advice, but don't give it control of anything. Yeah, that's as well as basically the rise and fall of human civilization. Like, no one would know if there was a civilization 200,000 years ago or whatever. And like, it shows that like human civilization, the history is not linear, like starting off as like primitive and always advancing. Yeah, the Egyptian pyramids are like proof of that. Other high-tech civilizations way before us, all of your megalithic walls and stuff like that, Stonehenge, all that stuff is like there to remind you that like you're not the best. You're not the best. You haven't reached the pinnacles. You just took a different route. And then in 100, really good, man. You don't even like get to the present moment till like season 2, I think. Starts off like 100 years from now, or actually, I think it was like 2050 is when it takes place. Nuclear war, like resets, big time resets, which I believe we are scheduled for one. We're scheduled for one for 2030. So I wanted to get the show on the road, like, so I can plan the future and like take care of things, secure some things. And I was in the stages of doing that about this time 2 years ago. It's like, oh man, like I need to like prepare for some shit. I already know about some things coming down the pipeway, and like I need to prepare. I need to like secure my financial stability in case of like the reset. It's like, well, the house is paid for, so like that's cool. That's a big asset. But like if cash money like goes to being worth nothing, I'll be fucked no matter how much money I got in the bank. So instead of saving money in the bank, I'll take all my savings and buy gold and silver, because that was definitely going to be like, that's real money. That's real money. And then like my finances got fucked up hardcore and screwed up, and I had to cash in all that. I had to sell it all to like live off of, buy food and shit, pay bills. Yeah, that was pretty bad. 5 or 6 months there. Pretty horrible. Anyway, I don't want to dwell on that. That's in the old cycles. I'm on the new cycles, new chapter, new book. New. That's where I'm at. I don't want to think about the past. So, with that, we're going to go. Hope you enjoyed our little scenery here. Too bad you didn't get a second shot of the moon. We'll try to catch it one more time before we say goodbye. We hope the messages find you well. If you're getting this, then you'll be getting probably a bunch more videos. Having a problem with YouTube right now. I'm sure you're aware of that. In fact, you said something about that? Yeah, the moon's still hidden. All is hidden. Nothing has been revealed yet. No truth or clarity yet. But I'm sure we'll get some. So it's almost the peak of the full moon. That'll be like in about another hour and a half. So we're gonna like do a little something to prepare for that. Utilize the psychic tide. Do some moon rituals. Maybe we'll do some moon rituals. Maybe we will dance naked under the full moon and try to like attract love. All you gotta do is dance under the moonlight. Since there's no one around, it's like, it's not too hot. It's a little bit chilly almost. If there's no one around, you like, might as well go like full-blown heathen pagan like your ancestors used to do and get naked. Sweat and like, all dirty, primal. A little too chilly for that. But we will listen to some music, do a small fire. I do have some stuff I gotta burn pertaining to the old cycle. Gotta burn off some old shit, get rid of it. And then we'll do some divination and plot our course forward. And some of that will be, if anyone's interested, that will be like released information-wise, like in other videos. So if you want to keep watching, there's a lot there to learn, depending on who you are and what you want to know. But until then, we hope all is well. Be good, do good, and we hope to hear from you soon. And until then, love and light, many blessings, toodles, and genuinely we hope all is well, and hope all is well. So, adieu, my dear, adieu.